Great emails, and one email actually I got recently is they're asking me, how do I make this orange look at the back here? Okay, well, this is very easy. Anywhere in the open area, right click, choose select custom color, and then you just choose the color that you want. Okay, in fact, I might make this a bit different orange. Okay, and that's how you do it. I do it because I don't know I don't know why I do it, but I just like to have a sort of like an orangey color background. It's just what I like to do. Okay, so here we're going to do now is we're going to carry on, but we're going to get into our banner now. Okay, so if you go to your, let me just zoom in. If you go to your folder, the folder that you downloaded from my website, okay, inside of here, you'll have a folder called Images Hard Copy, and in there we have our pictures as I showed you before. What I want is, I want this BG3, okay, I want to bring this into Photoshop and I want to add it to our banner. Okay, so I left click, I'm actually just going to drag this into Photoshop. Okay, you can do this a number of different ways. Okay, you can go to File, Open, and bring it in like that, but I quite like the effect of just dragging it. And what I want to do is I just simply want to, with my move tool selected and the image selected, I just want to left click and drag that image into the image behind. Okay, and I'm going to minimize that down. Now what I want to do is I now want to find a sort of, do you know what, I might just shrink it down just a little bit. Control T allows you to come in a free transform mode, and I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. Okay, let's just move it up. Okay, I'm going to double left click on that, which will make that selection. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Control T again, and I'm just going to drag it to the end. Okay, I'm just going to drag it right to the end of our template, and I'm going to double click. Now if you come to our layers palette here, you'll notice that as we drag that in, it automatically makes us another layer. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to duplicate this, and I'm going to show you a way of doing this. With your move tool selected, if you hold down Alt on your keyboard, okay, left click on the mouse, you now just made a duplicate of the first one. So if we come back to our layers palette again, you'll see we have a layer 2 copy. So you can do that with anything, just with your move tool selected, holding down Alt on the keyboard and drag away, it will make a duplicate of what you just did. Okay, and I just want to, what I want to do here is I want to Control T, put it in free transform mode, right click on our mouse inside of the free transform, and I want to choose flip horizontally, so it flips the other side. Double click. Okay, now what I want to do, if I come into my layers palette, okay, I want to first move this layer 2 down, and I want to move the layer 2 copy down. Okay, what I want to do with the bottom layer 2 selected and the shape is underneath that, so you got the layer 2 above the shape layer, hold down Alt on your keyboard and we're just going to clip it. So we clip the first one and then hold down Alt again and we'll clip the second one. Now you will notice that we have now clipped that inside of this shape, and that is our banner header at the top here. Now as you can see, we have some access, we got all this graphic here we don't want. Not a problem. Easiest way to get rid of this is choose the rectangular marquee tool, just drag over and hit delete on your keyboard. That's got rid of one layer. If you then go to the top layer and then you hit delete again, you will now notice we've just deleted the excess of the banner. Okay, so let me zoom in here a bit, and as I say, I'm really limited on space here. Okay, we now have two graphics on top of each other, but at the moment you can only actually see one. Okay, well, what we want to do is inside of the layers palette, I want to make this top one, I want to add a mask to it. Okay, and I've done masks in previous tutorials, but you come down to this little icon here, this square with the round circle, left click on that, and you'll notice in our layers palette we have another layer style. This is actually a mask. Okay, and the way the mask works is you use black and white. Okay, so with the brush tool selected, black takes away, okay, white will bring back what you just took away. Okay, so what we can do with this is we can add some we could add a nice effect. So we could, let's say we could bring all this back, make it that little bit darker. Okay, and I'm actually just using the brush with a soft edge brush. Okay, so I'm going to bring that back. We could come through this, and maybe we wanted to bring, you know, bring some more shape. So all we're doing basically is mixing these two graphics in together, okay, and that's starting to look good. What we can also do is we can come into the layers palette, and on each one of these layers we can choose the opacity, and we could bring the opacity down or up. What I want to do now is I want to come back to our images, and I want to grab the BG2, okay, and I'm just again drag that into Photoshop, and again like we did before, click, drag, and I'm going to bring that into our page, okay, and I'm going to do a similar thing to exactly what we just did a minute ago. I've just got to zoom out, Control T that layer, and I'm just going to drag it across, okay, double click on it, come into our layers palette, hold down Alt, clip it so we get those rounded edges, okay, and then again with that layer selected, I'm going to come in with the marquee tool, and I'm going to highlight it all, hit delete on the keyboard to get rid of that excess. Now what we can do is we can now with that layer selected, in my case it's called layer 3, the one we just put in, the purple one, you can now come into the opacity, you can bring the opacity down a bit, okay, or if you wanted to, you could again on that layer 3 on the purple we just brought in, come down to that icon again, make another mask, okay, and again with our black selected we can then just bring back bits of the basically it's masking, it's taking, when you use the black, it's taking from this top layer, it's just bringing back in the layer below it, okay, so we can do that, we can bring in some stuff from the layer below it, so we can add, you know, a different effect. So we got that purple, we got that blue, you know, I can make more blue come through, and remember you have to be actually on the mask layer to be able to do this. Again, I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to add some stripes and stuff like that, and there is our banner, okay, so we took two images, 3 altogether really, and we just blended them in, and you can just come in and you can play around with this, you can play with the opacity, bring it back up, bring the opacity down, do whatever you want, okay. This is a technique of mixing images inside of a banner to give you the sort of look that you want. Looking damn good. Next thing I quickly want to do in this tutorial, again inside of this folder we have a picture of a man with a camera. Again, I'm going to left click, drag that into Photoshop, and here he is, okay, and I've actually I cheated. In fact, I've actually taken out the background already. What I want to show you is how to get rid of this background, okay. The background's white, how do we get rid of it, okay. Well, I generally use the, you know, I like to try first the magic eraser tool where I click once, and to be honest this actually works on this image. It doesn't work on every image. That is the magic eraser tool, and I just click on the white bits to get rid of them, okay. So if we now, let's have a look, if we now drag this man, okay, now we've deleted the white background out, if we drag this man into again our Photoshop template, and I'm just going to minimize that down, you'll notice that this is a very big graphic, okay. So the way to make it smaller, Control T, free transform it, let's find the top anchor point here. Now we drag downwards, but if we hold down shift it keeps it in perspective, okay. So we're going to have to do this a few times. Choose the corner tag, hold down shift, drag down, okay, and you know what, I'm going to have to do it again, drag down, okay, and I'm just going to drag him up, he's still too big, drag him down, put him there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually, while we're in free transform mode, I'm going to right click inside of the transform and I'm going to flip horizontally. I just want to switch his position around, and I'm going to double click inside, okay. As you can see, the blue bar seems to be, you know, he seems to be inside of the blue bar. Well, to switch this round, you'll notice at the moment that the blue bar, okay, which is here, layer 1, is right at the top. If we just click that layer, drag it underneath, you'll now notice that the man appears to be sitting on top of that, squatting on top of that layer. Now to add that effect around the outside like I had in the original, on that layer, on the man layer, which is this one here, double left click, okay, and we want to choose outer glow. You'll notice that glow has now come round. If we actually click on the word outer glow and we just choose size, we just bring it up a bit, okay, you'll notice that glow's coming all the way around. This is just an effect we're using for this tutorial. Once you've done that, hit OK, And there we go. We've now got our banner in. We've got our man in. Do you know what? He could still be rather big, but we can come in a free transform mode and we can change that at any time. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. We got our banner, we got our man in. Next we've got to get the woman in, finish off our banner so we can move on. Take it easy, guys and girls. Catch you at the next one-stop tutorials. Any questions, please let me know. Thanks, everyone.